how do you, on the flip side, because I see you from afar, I'm like, oh my gosh, her systems, her like
Oh,
everything
yeah.
within
I
her
know, I
business,
can't.
everything's, which I'm sure we'll get
Makes me so
into.
excited.
Yeah.
And like when, you are giving birth, you
Mhm.
have a new being to take care of, and now two, and a family. Like, how do you go with the flow when you
Yeah.
are so used to having these structured
Mhm.
systems and all of that?
It all runs without me now. I mean,
Yeah.
I
it
can't.
can. And I say that
My
with
dream.
so much confidence and love because I have built a business that supports my life and not a life
Mhm.
around my business. Truly, truly. You know, it's funny. So I'm in LA doing a bunch of interviews, and one of my friends yesterday, I was there, and she's like, "Oh, stick around a while. Like go work up by the pool." And I said, "I don't have any other work to do." And she goes, "Grab your laptop." And I was like, "I don't have it here." And she was like, "What? That's fascinating." And I was like, "No, no, no, like, I'm just here. I'm, like, all here. I'm, like, all
Wow.
in. I'm, like,
Mhm.
protecting my energy, and, like, that is just how I operate." And, of course, there are heavy seasons, but
Mhm.
I do it at a pace that feels good. So, like, this week, it's a grind. Next week,
Mm.
it's free. And I honor that pace, and yes, I can hustle, but that's not, like, the go-to.
Yeah.
What made you come to that point? Because so many people are hustling and they're like,
Mhm.
okay, but I want to be as successful as you.
Mhm.
How do I get there by having that balance? Is
Mhm.
there a period of hustle that's necessary? Like, what was your journey to that?
Yeah. So, in the book, I share a couple different stories around this because right now I feel like female entrepreneurs are facing two camps. I want to know if you guys agree, because
Mhm.
actually, this is really a good conversation for the three of us. So, I feel like in a polarizing world where everyone is like, which side are you on? We feel like there are two sides. There's the manifestation side, the woo side, and there's the hustle side, the work
Mm.
side.
Yeah.
And my editor, when she chose my book and like said, like, I want to do this with you, I asked her why. Why this book? Why me? And she goes, I just feel like there are two camps that are only being displayed in entrepreneurship. And you are where the woo meets the work.
Mhm.
You live in a space where you like hold visions and cast visions, but you're also willing to work towards them.
Mhm.
And I think that for so many women, they're like, I've got to pick one side and go all in. I mean, as a
Mm.
mom, it's like, do you do baby led weaning or do you do purees? You only choose one.
Yes.
There's only one way, and you are wrong, whichever one you choose. And it's like, life does not have to be like that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so, honestly, Krista, I think that the way that I got here was through my losses and through these like wake up calls and signals of like, you're building something that's not serving you. And like, what are you going to do? And like, what kind of mom do you want to be? And how are you going to build something that supports that? And what does that look like? And I am so proud of the business I built, not for any other reason than the fact that like it gives me my life and I live my life.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
Yeah, truly, truly inspiring for us. I'm wondering if you had any like fears stepping into your power, your like embodying who you are
Mhm.
today.
hmm.
Was there anything holding you back? Any stories you kind of had to reprogram or cobwebs you had to clean out?
Have you guys ever been like at a conference and there's someone sitting in the front row and like taking word for word notes? Like they are desperately seeking the
Mhm.
answer.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
they paid their money and they want you to
Yes.
teach them exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like at the beginning of my journey, I felt a lot like that, where I was like, I will be the best student and you just tell
Mm.
me what to do and you say jump and I say how high and I go. And I think a lot of people do that. And it pulls you further away from your intuition and it also pulls you further away from your mission. And hustle culture and also just too like how people define success is so different, and yet like we all kind of picture the same thing of what it should look like. And so I think the only times where I really faced like fears or things was like when I was running off of someone else's definition. And then
Mhm.
I arrive in a moment and I'm like, I thought this would feel
Mhm.
different. This doesn't feel good, or this isn't what I wanted, or like I somehow got off course and need to find my way back. So it's been kind of this journey. And I really do think that I learned it young because it's like, I'm 34, but I feel like I've been living this intentionally of like, what does my gut tell me? Or like, does this fit with what I want? Because there are so many people, and I'm surrounded by just like brilliant human beings where they're like, you should go speak on stages. Like you could do this, or like you should, and it's like I could do those things, but I don't really want to. And so it's like listening to that and like being unapologetic and like saying just like, that's not for me. Like, thank you. That's sweet. But like, not for me.
I feel like that's made you more magnetic.
Yes.
That is
It's hard
like,
to get.
Yeah.
I can be hard to get at times.
I know,
Dude,
I
it
like
is.
it. That's why it's magnetic. I'm like, I need to take note
And
on
just
that.
that discernment, I think, is so powerful because I think that's what stops or paralyzes people, because there's so many ways in which you can express. There's so many ways in which you can be successful, make money, do whatever. And sometimes I feel, I'm like, the menu is so big. This is a cheesecake factory. Like, I don't know what to have.
Truly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But to know thyself, to know kind of like what feels really good, and to know what really is aligned with the life that you want to live.
Yeah.
I think that's like what I'm taking away from that. That's really important.
Yeah.
I think too, when you talk about like, how do you define success is so important. And I think so many people are working, and so many women specifically are working, and they're doing the things, and I don't know if they know why.
I agree.
And
I also fear that they'll arrive, it's not going to feel good, and then they're going to lose their ability to trust themselves to make the next decision. Right? Because it's like, how many times are we almost out there in pursuit to prove ourselves wrong? And so it's like, oh, I thought I wanted the corner office and the high heels and the power suits, but I really like sweatpants and my feet don't fit into high heels. But I've already invested this much, or I've already said this, or I've already told people this is what I'm going to go after. So if I don't do it, I'm going to be a failure. And it's like, we're working off of other people's maps. And there's a line in the book that says like, sometimes other people's directions aren't going to help you reach your destination. And in a world that has an excess of information out there and an excess of opinions, it's really easy for us to say like, give me your map, give me your map. And it's like, but what if our destinations are so totally different? Like what I have done is not going to lead you to the same space. You know what I mean?
Yes. And you don't want to be in the same space. And that's what's hard, is that social media makes us all kind of curate to the same solution and same space. Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Microdose by Almost 30.
We hope you enjoyed waking up.
As always, we encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you enjoyed this trip, tune into the full episode on the Almost 30 podcast. All episode information can be found in the show notes.
Make sure to subscribe, and if this becomes a part of your morning routine, be sure to share it with a friend. We have new inspiring doses Monday through Friday. Follow us on Instagram at Morning Microdose, and follow Almost 30 at Almost 30 Podcast.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the vortex.